All right, so let's think about this. We've all been there. We're in a meeting, we're taking notes, but at the same time, we're trying to pay attention to what's going on. Then in the midst of taking your notes, you realize that you missed something important, and before you can double back to figure out what that is, the meeting ends, or even a potential interview ends, and now you're left wondering, what did I miss? And then now you're looking at a bunch of inconsistent notes because you just so happen to miss the one thing that kind of ties all of your notes together. Does that sound familiar? I'm gonna go ahead and raise my hand because I dealt with that a lot of times when I was working at the Pentagon. Long story. Trust me, you don't want to know about it. But there's a new AI tool that can help you guys out with that, which will pretty much alleviate the practice of even taking notes if you choose to. There's two different options with this particular tool, but it's gonna make your life so much better when it comes to having meetings or even conducting interviews if you are, let's say, a podcaster or someone who likes to interview people on YouTube or someone. This particular app is going to be just right up your alley. Hey guys, if you're new here, I'm Sean Spencer. Welcome back to the Everyday Professional. And in today's video, we are talking about granola. And this is a game changer when it comes to taking notes or have something take notes for you. So first up, exactly what is granola? And yes, we are getting kind of creative these days with all the different names for AI tools. I mean, you've heard all the funny things, your Higgs fields, your Gen AI, now we've got granola. I'm digging it. Something new, something that stands out. That's what we're here for, right? Now, Granola is an AI-powered app, notepad, designed specifically for professional meetings. And like I said, I found another use doing it in interviews. Granola sets up perfectly with your Mac system or your Windows system, and it connects easily to your Zoom, Google Meets, Microsoft Teams, Slack, and so on. And it works for iOS devices. So that means, let's say you jump into a meeting and you don't have your computer, but you have your phone. You can easily turn on Granola, let it run in the background, and then you can sit there in person, one-to-one, or in a group, and your phone, the Granola app, will take notes while you're in this meeting, and once your meeting is over, then you can double back and load on and pick up the information onto your computer where you left off. Now, here's something I really like. When it comes to starting a meeting or jumping into a scheduled meeting, Granola can run in the background without saying nothing. That's right. No more of this annoying, hey, Sean is recording, just thought I'd let you know. Yeah, nah, that doesn't happen anymore. With Granola, it silently runs in the background as if it's a private assistant sitting back and taking notes for you. So what does that mean? You have two options. You can either choose to take some quick notes as you're listening to the meeting, or you can just sit back and let Granola do all the heavy lifting. Again, just like an assistant. Imagine having that assistant sitting off into the corner while you are conducting this meeting and your hands free. You don't have to sit there and try to keep up, looking down, looking up, no. Granola will handle all that stuff for you if you choose. Now, a quick ethics point. Yes, Granola can run in the background. It's quiet. Nobody particularly knows it's there, but it is good practice to let the people in your meeting know or in your interview know that you are taking notes with an AI tool. You know, it's just good business practice. You always want to be courteous to other people. Some people might feel some type of way of things being recorded. These days, not really. However, you may have that one person who's just not comfortable with it. So it's always good to announce when you're using an AI tool to actually do some recording and transcribing in the background. Now, if you're already thinking, let me jump in and try Granola right now, there's a link in my description that'll help you get set up and you'll be able to try it out, and I'm pretty sure you're gonna love it. All right, let's jump into Granola and let's take a look at the interface. So as you can see here, I've already connected it with my calendars, well, my Google Calendar, so that's already there. All right, if you look over here, this is shared with me. So let's say you and another friend have Granola or family member or meeting partner, and they've shared some stuff with you. This is where you're gonna find it. All right, go into here. I needed some chat notes that are sitting here waiting for you. Now, we're gonna move over here. My notes, which I don't have any just yet. Now we're gonna move over to here, team. Now, this is your team. Now, of course, you can add more to it, but particularly these are your team section, where down here, you can have your client calls. And this is gonna be for anybody in your team who has access to your Granola, which you can actually give access and you can revoke it. Now, team meetings. These are all your information when it comes to team meetings. Share with your team, connect with Slack, which we're gonna get to that part where they can connect with quite a few different things. Now, if you look over here in your corner, this is your share function. So of course, if you have some notes or something that you put in with your team section that you want to share out, you can do that. But we're going to show that a few minutes later. So now what we're going to do is we're going to have an active meeting going. Now, granted, I don't have anybody that I can call right now to set up quick meetings. So what I'm going to do is, previously I spoke how it's also great for interview transcriptions. So I'm going to put up an interview that I previously did with Donnell Wittenberg, who's the first American gymnast to win the gold medal in the rings. Great interview. I'm gonna put that up so you can see exactly how Granola will take notes and transcribe everything so that you don't have to. So we're gonna go here. All right, so I'm jumping over to my Google Meets. So we're just gonna start a new quick meeting, start an instant meeting. Just that beep alone is super annoying, but I get it. Imagine what happens when you say, hey, I'm recording. All right, so this is set up. All right, my face is gonna show, but we don't need to see my face at this moment. So we'll just have my little thing there. All right, now if you noticed up here in the corner, Granola noticed that I opened up a meeting, so it's saying, do you want to take notes? And I'm going to say yes. So take notes. So once you click take notes, it drops this over to your right hand. So here you can actually take your physical notes, like if you want to type while you're in the middle of the meeting. Or again, like I mentioned previously, you could just sit back and let it do what it does. But for me, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to just kind of type it up, and then we're going to talk about it a little bit later. So, right, so here's your interview. Well, the interview that I did. I'm going to play it right now.
Or like my dismounts, I kind of need a couple skills and in front of it just to make myself a little bit tired. And usually that helps you like land in a correct spot. That's kind of something I kind of noticed. I don't know if it's actually trigger, but that's just something I noticed throughout like my world championships. And having that kind of indicated like, oh, I just need to make sure that I'm doing like a really good routine, make sure my olds are good. Kind of tired myself out a little bit because usually if I go for that dismount, I'll over rotate. So if I'm a little bit tired, I would get it just right. Okay. Then after that, I gotta just went back. I think we had stretch in the morning with our whole team, so that was good. Just to go in there, get warmed up, check in with everybody, see how everyone else is doing. Then we go back and rest for a little bit.
All right, so in the middle of the meeting, I decided, you know what, I want to take notes. So I jumped over to my note, looks like kind of Apple Notes. I jumped in there and I started taking notes, just a few little things here and there. I left things misspelled, grammatic errors, because what you're going to see in a minute is how it cleans everything up. So then it let me know that, hey, it's recording, but it's only on my screen. It's not notifying everybody. All right, so I stopped the meeting. So now we're going to go over to our notes. Here's what we have. All right, so now resting for a little bit, taking a nap, so you can see, so you can feel refreshed. So now we're going to put enhance the notes. And here we have the notes. I went ahead and stretched the screen so you guys don't have to sit there and look at my beautiful face. So, and look at the difference in the notes. So now we're going to go up here. We're going to look at, if you click over here to your left, this is going to show what you actually wrote. And then if you go here, these are the enhanced notes that Granola puts together, just going through and listening to that whole video and speaking session. Even though I only took a few notes, Granola was dialed in and taking notes the entire time of all the different things that were said. So here you see rest and recovery approach, taking a nap, feeling fresh, prioritize feeling as rested as possible. Morning stretch, check-ins with teams to assess everyone's condition. I actually missed that part. Schedule lunch breaks before, I missed that too. So you guys get the idea. It picks up the things that you tend to miss out that you might not see with the notes, or let's just say you didn't think they were that important at the moment. So we're gonna scroll down here. Just from that little bit of time that we watched, look at all that it recorded and transcribes. Now, here's where we can have some fun. Now, Granola has something called recipes, and what you do to access that is you go down here to the bottom, you can hit your forward tab or your forward sign, and then if you look, you can scroll through all the many different recipes that they already have out. So for example, write a follow-up email from the notes that I already have. You can also do list my to-dos, make notes longer, which means it can expand on what you already have. You can go down here, blind spot, analyzing meeting notes and identifying risks, concerns, and blind spots. Again, you can go further down, create a help doc. You can go down, sales questions, so you can create sales questions from this. And actually, that's what we're gonna do. So let's say, okay, and you can tell who created these different recipes. So from what I've seen, different people can create recipes and then they load them up into the system. I'm not sure 100% if that's how that worked, but I'll leave some notes for that, guys. All right, so we're gonna go sales questions. Let's click on that bad boy. All right, and we're gonna hit go. All right, and you see here, it's giving me, all right, so, okay, it's still generating, so let me not get in the way. But as you can see so far, all right, question number one, you mentioned you actually need to be a little bit tired going into your dismount so you don't over rotate and hit that just right zone, okay? So the follow would be, the way you described it tells me you've got some strong instincts. You've noticed patterns most athletes never even think about. You'll be met by a competition day routine that engineers the ideal level of fatigue on purpose. It takes a ton of uncertainty off your plate. And I guess this is not too salesy, so it's basically saying, hey, we can produce something for you if you like. All right, question number 2. Oh, it's just on routine quality and holds. Okay, so he makes a statement on what he feels about that. Then here's your follow-up question. What I'm hearing is you already know what's good. And then here's your next question and your next question and so on. So that's how it sets those up. Now, you can actually get out of this. Let's go back into here and you can choose another option and another option. So you have plenty of different options that you can choose when it comes to templates that are already set up or recipes that are already set up. So to help you kind of move forward from these notes if you choose to. Now, back to that sharing thing that I mentioned previously. Now, with all these notes, let's just say I want to share this with my partner or someone that I'm working with to try to, let's say I want to sell down there on something. Then I have the option to where I can go here, share, and I can put in that particular person's information, or I can go here and I can actually send them a link to this. And then that will allow them to see the full notes, everything that happened. And then that person and I can actually do a quick follow-up. So the share function is great because you don't just share it, but you can also just pass the link on. Kind of just like Google Docs does. Now, another benefit of Granola AI is it allows you to connect to ChatGPT, Claude AI, and others using their MCP function. And what that does, it allows you to communicate with your notes. You can go onto Granola, and let's say you have a list of notes going back, let's say a few months. You can have the ChatGPT function say, hey, what did we talk about over the last month? Give me a summary. What were the high points? As opposed to having to go through and search all of your notes, certain dates, and trying to figure that out yourself. So I think that is an amazing function, being able to take one tool, connect to another tool that can really not over-enhance, but really build more on just the power that Granola already has. And not only does it connect to ChatGPT and Claude AI, it also connects to Zapier, HubSpot, Slack, Notion, and about 8,000 other apps. So again, what you're getting with Granola and how you can enhance it is basically almost unlimited because you're giving access to all these other AI tools to assist you with your notes, research, follow-up, sales, and so on. Now, who is this great for? Sales reps, product managers, designers, and again, that extra element of conducting interviews. So for all of you guys who are running podcasts or YouTube channels, you can run this guy in the background and you won't miss a beat. Now, let's look at pricing. So you go over here and look at price. So you have your basic, which is a great start just to get an idea of how this works. It's pretty simple. You get AI meetings. You get the limited history. So let's log on to here. Well, let's move over to here. Meetings in the meeting notes stay viewable and searchable for a limited time. So of course, it's not going to let you build up a database of 3 months and you're basically using the free option. But you get a lot of power that comes with this basic and free option. Again, shareable folders, customized note templates, multi-language support. So, si habla español, if you speak Spanish, then that's an option as well, or whatever language you speak. Now, ideally, which is what I recommend, you move over to the business option, which is $14 a month, which I think is a great price considering what you get and how much you can do with this, how much repurposing that can be handled with this. You can conduct meetings, then you can take those notes. You can put together sales notes. You can put together content. You can reach out to other people. You can have a database of all your meetings and never miss a beat. You never miss anything important. At this point, as mentioned previously, you don't even have to use your hands to take notes. You can let it do what it do. So again, I would go for the $14 option. Now, if you want all the power, then you would go for your enterprise thing. So now that's if you have a large business, you want to spread this around amongst your teams and stuff like that. Then you would look at the enterprise option, $35 a month. Again, your average AI tool and app these days, they're starting at $24 and $29 and $30. You have 2 great options that are less than that to get you started. And pretty much, like I said, the business option is all you're gonna need. You can get rolling for quite a while with the basic option, but I do recommend you jump to the business option. So again, if you'd love to try this out, I've left a link in the description of this video. Hope you guys enjoy. And if I brought you any type of value within this video, and this was a little bit of a longer video than I usually do, however, there was a lot to cover, so I hope you guys enjoyed. Again, if I brought you any value, please consider liking and subscribing. Again, check out Granola. If you do podcasts, interview, you're a sales rep, product manager, if you take notes, this is what you need today. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great day.